Your workload doubled. Your responsibilities tripled. Your paycheck? Exactly the same. If this sounds familiar, you've been quietly promoted and quietly screwed. Welcome to Career Cheat Codes. I'm about to show you exactly how companies steal your labor with fancy titles, and more importantly, how to fight back. This isn't motivation fluff. This is a tactical breakdown with scripts, timelines, and numbers you can actually use. Here's the number that should make you angry. 78% of American workers have experienced a quiet promotion. That's not a trend, that's an epidemic. And the kicker? Companies know exactly what they're doing. They're cutting headcount but keeping the work. Guess whose shoulders it lands on? But here's what they don't want you to know. You have leverage. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to use it. Let's start with what a quiet promotion actually looks like. Your manager pulls you aside. They say Sarah left, and they need someone to step up temporarily. Temporarily becomes 6 months. 6 months becomes permanent, and somehow your title stays the same, your paycheck stays the same. This pattern exploded after the pandemic layoffs. Companies cut 20% of their workforce but somehow kept 100% of the work. The math is brutal. If your team shrinks from 5 to 3, each remaining person now handles almost double the original workload. Basic arithmetic. According to JobSage, 67% of quiet promotion recipients took on a departed colleague's entire workload without a single dollar of additional compensation. And here's where companies get clever. They reframe exploitation as opportunity. They call it expanding your skill set or proving yourself for bigger things. The language is always the same. This is a great chance to show leadership. Think of it as investing in your career. Translation: work more, earn the same. World at Work reports that within 1 month of receiving extra responsibilities without pay, 29% of employees quit. Compare that to 18% baseline turnover. That's a 60% spike in turnover. People aren't stupid. They recognize when they're being used and they leave. But here's the real gut punch. According to Ravio, employers plan to promote only 9% of their workforce in 2026. That's down from 10% last year. So let me paint the full picture. More work, same pay. And now, fewer actual promotions to justify it. The system is rigged against you. And when promotions do happen, Ravio data shows the average pay increase is 8.7%. That's less than 90 cents on the dollar for dramatically more responsibility. Meanwhile, Mercer reports that most companies are keeping 2026 salary increases flat at 3.5%. That barely keeps pace with inflation. So, if you're getting 3.5% while taking on 50% more work, you're not getting a raise. You're taking a massive effective pay cut. This is how companies balance their books. They eliminate positions but keep the output. They give you a title bump instead of a dollar bump. And the worst part? Many employees fall for it. They accept the extra work, hoping it leads somewhere. Spoiler alert, without a plan, it usually doesn't. So here's where we flip the script. Rule number 1, document everything. Every new project, every expanded responsibility, every leadership moment. Write it down with dates, scope, and outcomes. Took over Johnson account in March. Increased revenue by 15%. Specific beats vague every time. Here's the script for when they pile on work. Say, I'm happy to take this on temporarily while we figure out the permanent structure. Then add the crucial part. Let's plan to revisit compensation in 90 days based on the scope. You've just created a deadline and set expectations. The 90-day window is strategic. It's long enough to prove impact, short enough that they can't claim you already accepted the terms. Now, some of you are thinking, but what if they say no? What if they just expect me to do the work anyway? Valid concern. Here's the play. If they push back, say, I want to make sure I can deliver at the level this deserves, what would success look like and how would that be recognized? You're making them define success criteria. Now there's an objective standard. Now there's accountability. Now there's documentation for your next conversation. Remember that Fortune analysis found quiet promotions often lead to burnout and higher turnover. Companies know this. They're betting you won't push back. Prove them wrong. The employees who get ahead are the ones who treat their career like a business negotiation, not a charity. Here's another critical move. Research whether your company actually promotes from within. Look at the last 5 senior hires. Were they internal or external? If external candidates consistently fill leadership roles, your quiet promotion is a dead end. You're building skills for a resume, not a promotion pipeline. In that case, your strategy shifts. Accept the responsibilities, document everything, then use those expanded capabilities to interview elsewhere at a higher level. Your documentation becomes your ammunition. Those temporary leadership moments become led a cross-functional team through transition on your resume. The World at Work analysis calls quiet promotions a necessity for employers who eliminate people but don't eliminate work. Notice the framing, their necessity, your exploitation. They frame it as adaptation. You should frame it as leverage. If you're doing the work of two people, you have proof of your value. Here's the negotiation script when you're ready to have the conversation. I've absorbed X responsibilities since the restructuring in March. The market rate for this expanded role is approximately Y. Always cite market data. Never make it about your feelings. Make it about fair market value. I'd like to discuss aligning my compensation with these expanded responsibilities. Notice the language. Not demanding, not emotional, just professional and direct. The worst they can say is no, and if they say no, you've just learned exactly how much this company values you. That's information you can use. Some companies will step up. They'll adjust your title, your compensation, or both. They recognize they're getting tremendous value and act accordingly. Others will stonewall you. They'll give you corporate talk about budgets and timing and maybe next quarter. This is also valuable information. If they stonewall, shift to documentation mode. Build your case for external opportunities. Every rejected internal ask becomes motivation for external interviews. Here's the ultimate leverage, that 8.7% promotion raise internally. You can often get 15 to 20% by changing companies. The best negotiation leverage is always optionality. When you have another offer, suddenly your current employer finds budget they didn't have before. But here's the key, don't bluff. Don't threaten to leave unless you're actually prepared to go. Empty threats destroy credibility and burn bridges. Your cheat code for this week, audit your current role. List everything you do, compare it to your job description, compare it to your compensation. If there's a gap, you now have a project. Document the expansion, research market rates, prepare your talking points, then have the conversation. If you found this useful, subscribe to Career Cheat Codes. Every episode is designed to give you tactical advantages your employer hopes you never learn. Remember, companies will take every advantage you let them take. The question is whether you'll let them take your labor or make them pay for it. That's your cheat code for the week. Now go get what you're worth. The timeline for this trap is predictable. First, they ask you to help out temporarily. Within 2 weeks, temporary becomes assumed. By month 3, nobody remembers this wasn't your job. By month 6, asking for compensation feels like you're being difficult. That's by design. Fortune's workplace analysis confirms it. Quiet promotions are increasingly common as companies manage tighter budgets, and they lead directly to burnout. The psychological trap is elegant. They make you feel grateful for the opportunity while extracting unpaid labor. Classic misdirection. Break the spell. Every time they praise your flexibility and team spirit, mentally translate it. Here, we're glad you're accepting less than you're worth. Now, I'm not saying every expanded role is exploitation. Sometimes it genuinely is a stepping stone. The key is knowing which situation you're in. Ask yourself, has anyone taken this path before and actually gotten promoted? Not promised. Actually promoted with actual raises. Look at real outcomes. Talk to people who left. LinkedIn makes this easy. Message former colleagues and ask, did your expanded role lead anywhere, or did you have to leave to advance? Companies often use quiet promotions to test employees before formal advancement. According to Ravio, that actual promotion only comes for 9% of the workforce. So if you're going to accept expanded responsibilities, get commitments in writing, not vague promises. Specific criteria, timelines, and compensation targets. Email is your friend. After any verbal conversation about role changes, send a follow-up, just confirming what we discussed. Now there's a paper trail. Managers who are genuinely investing in your development won't resist this. They'll appreciate the clarity. Managers who are exploiting you will get uncomfortable. That discomfort is information. It tells you whether you're being developed or being used. Both are useful data points for your career strategy. The game has changed since the pandemic. Loyalty used to be rewarded. Now, the data shows job hoppers often earn more than company lifers. Mercer's research shows salary increases staying flat at 3.5%, but external moves often yield 15 to 25% increases. This doesn't mean you should job hop constantly. It means you should always know your market value, always have updated documentation, always be ready. The best time to negotiate is from a position of strength. That means having options before you desperately need them. Starting today, update your LinkedIn to reflect your actual responsibilities, not just your title. Let the market see what you really do. Recruiters search by keywords, not titles. When they search manage team or lead project, your profile should appear, even if your title is junior. Your title is what HR calls you. Your brand is what the market sees. Take control of your brand because your company won't do it for you. 78% of workers have experienced quiet promotions. Now you know how to recognize them, negotiate through them, or use them as springboards.